Well, hello and welcome back. Thanks for coming back. Lost in Paphos, that's where we are. We've just picked up a car in uptown Peyia, so it could be an interesting little, well, travel back to lower Peyia. Lots of people like Peyia, Miss Ali and of course Mr. Neil. And the two dads are getting very, very excited because we're somewhere lost in upper Peyia. And I'm going to readjust my seat because my brother's a lot bigger than me and he likes to put my electric seat all the way back, and it really, really annoys the living daylights out of me. I've got lots of problems, as I've kept saying, and luckily now we've met a new superstar member. Her name's Miss Heather, and she's apparently going to help with my problem. She's a psychologist and a hip therapist and all these kind of things. So big shout out to you, Miss Heather. Hopefully you've had a spectacular holiday in Paphos, and well, you're back in Blighty. We understand that bit. It was a great pleasure to meet you and Mr. Steve, and of course Miss Olivia, who came out for a little bit of a vacation mid-term, isn't it, from the university, and I believe she's probably going to be the greatest photographer in the world, and on top of that, a very beautiful young lady. Now look at this, bit of concrete all over the roads to bounce us around a little bit. Now, if your name is Lady so sweet Caroline, get your bottom on a memory foam pillow, and just before you do, perhaps pour a tot or two for the superstar known as Lord Nigel of the Big Guns. There we are. Let's just knock that seat back a little bit more. There we are. Real life with Mr. Paul driving around in his Mercedes in uptown Peyia. That's where we are. And now we're going to start our descent, and we're going to wiggle and waggle down to lower Peyia and the main coast road back to Paphos. Did anyone spot that old Jag there, an XJ40 Jag? So that's from what, 1990 to I think 1996, if I remember rightly. It was a good car, had problems with its electrics, so it's probably got still problems with its electrics, but it was a good car, no doubt about it. That was perhaps when Jag went from their heyday backwards and then back to their heyday. Now, well, they make a little rubbish, simple as that. Why would anyone want to buy one? Sorry, Nigel. Anyway, here we go. He's going to go and buy a Range Rover instead. Sensible man. Here we are, coming past the flower shop in uptown Peyia, and there's another flower shop somewhere, isn't there? Let's go and see if we can find the other flower shop, because it might bring back memories for Mr. Neil, and he once walked up to order a bouquet of flowers for Miss Alison, and well, forgot how steep that road was. But if you want a pork kebab, there's the old Cinema Taverna, and then if you want to get a smile on your face, that's the Perfect Smile Dental Clinic. I've got a feeling my car's going to get dirty. Hold on a second. Never mind. We'll go and find the flower shop, especially for Mr. Neil, because of course then he can remind Miss Alison just how much he loves her and all of the effort that he put into going to get those flowers. And you never know, I can get my car washed a bit later. What's here? Jailhouse. Yes, there's the cafe bar known as the Jail, and there's a pharmacist there. If you want to buy a TV or something, well, you can pop into that shop. I can't pronounce its name. You want a cup of tea in Maggie's, or Peggy's, isn't it? Peggy's, sorry, Secret Garden. That's there on the right hand side. And we are now going to go past the flower shop, which is just down here. Are you getting excited, Neil? Let's have a look. How's your salmon doing these days? Let's have a look. Here we go. Look, they've been filling in the potholes. My goodness. The roads are getting better slowly in downtown Paphos. You want to do some advertising? Mad for Ad, that could be the place for you. There it is, the Golden Rose. Probably one of the best flower shops in the whole of Paphos. Maybe even Cyprus, but certainly in downtown Peyia. And if you want to get a bit of dancing and a bit of food at night, that was the Saba Grill on the right hand side. Which way should we go? We'll take a left. Here we go. We'll go down this road and we'll go past one of my favourite customers, and his name's Mr. Mackenzie, and I love him to bits. He really is a great guy, and every time I go and see him, he always sits me down for 10-15 minutes and we put the world to rights. And he's coming up down here on the left hand side. I won't actually point out his house because you never know, you might pop round and burgle him. Although, as he says, I often come round and burgle his wallet. I wonder if he's sitting outside. We'll have a quick look. Well, his fan's going, so the odds are he's sitting outside. And his BMW's not in the drive, so he's probably not sitting outside. He's just forgotten to switch his fan off. He's obviously gone moseying on down, looking for a frappe or something like that. This is Midtown Peyia, if you're wondering where we are. Quite a few customers on this street, by the way. If you're wondering what Mr. Paul does, if you're new to the channel, I've got a car body shop and a car mechanics. So if you've got a problem with your car, perhaps I could be the man for you. But remember, make sure you've got plenty of money, because I do like to have a good rummage in your wallet. Where are we now? Well, we're going to take a left and we're going to head out towards the back end of Coral Bay. That's what we're going to do. Hold on, I know that man there. We know him. There we are. There's Mr. George. He's the son of Mr. Steve, one of my customers. There we are. And you recognise the car. Now give him a good wave. There we are. Hold on. Well, look, two gangsters in convoy with a man in a black S-Class in front of us, and I'm in a black S-Class following him. We're like two rival mafia failures. There we are. A couple of failed mafia bosses in downtown Peyia. And I tell you what, there's quite a few of them in Peyia, that's for sure. Children's playground, not much going on in there. This road's been recently tarmacked. Look at it, one of the best roads in Paphos, to be honest. Although there is the odd undulation in it as we drive along. Coming down here is a very popular place, and it's called Neo's Sports Bar, Neo's Taverna and Neo's Restaurant, but Neo's to most of the people who live in Peyia. It's got a lot of things going on, like bowls, not bowls, bowls, yes, bowls. People come down here and play bowls professionally. It's got all, look at that, isn't that nice? Look at that, Andrea. Oof, I want one. That's it. Let's get it. Mercedes is just not good enough. I've been outdone by a man in a Bentley. Anyway, there it is. There is Neo's Sports Bar, and there's pool going on there. They do a very nice breakfast, a nice lunch, open for dinner as well. And the boss himself sometimes serenades you and cooks and sets on fire a piece of steak right in front of you. And luckily so far, he's not set anyone else on fire. Although he has set himself on fire once or twice. It's quite a nice chap. There we go. Where are we? Let's take a... Tell you what, we'll go straight. There we are. We'll go straight, and then we'll come out the back of the Paphos supermarket. You've heard me mention this a few times. Probably the biggest supermarket in the whole of Cyprus, not just Paphos, but certainly in Peyia. Anything you want: Hellman's mayonnaise, baked beans, caviar, a pair of sports shoes, some polish for your car, whatever it is you want, you can get it there. Here you go. What's going on here? Bit of big digging. Always digging something in Paphos, aren't they? Always. Anyway, big shout out to some of the crew, some of the people who like to come back now and again. The girl in charge of the show, her name is Dayman. She's our #1, and she's coming back very soon. I bet that little app is counting down, and I think it's probably about 76 days. I'm sure she'll correct me or give me a gold star in the comments. Big shout out to Andrea and Mark. Big shout out to Miss Ness and of course Mr. Andy. I think they're back in the UK by now, so that means they'll be moseying on down in and around Shropshire. So here we are. This is the back of the Paphos supermarket. As you see, there's delivery vans coming from everywhere, cones everywhere. There's a lot of things going on. Might sneak in the back and grab one of those boxes of whiskey. I saw some Johnny Walker whiskey. Not that I drink, but of course I do give the odd bottle away now and again. Here we are. We're going to join the main coast road. So here we are. If we go straight over there, we go onto the Coral Bay Strip. So I tell you what, as a special treat for one or two of the superstars, James Henry's getting very excited. David Potter, oh my God, he's dancing in the street. Let's go straight. We're going to have a look at the Coral Bay Strip, especially for them. And of course, Mr. Dave, all the way out in South Wales, and the girl in his life, Miss Rachel. And of course, she's getting excited because she knows that there's a wind chime in downtown Paphos with her name on it. If you want it, you've got to say Miss Rachel. If you don't say the password, you don't get the chime. That's simple. Downtown Coral Bay is coming up. There's amusement parks, there's mini golf, there's an ATM to get some money from you, And I mean you, because probably it's going to chew your card up or zap your card. So I'd be very careful. If I was you, I'd only use designated banks to get money. For this, Coral Bay Strip. Wow. Let's take a left. No, let's go right, and then we'll do a U-turn illegally at the bottom, just to impress Mr. Neil. And he can choke on whatever he's eating today. I wonder what it could be. It could be chicken pie, salmon. Perhaps he's having his crunchies, I don't know, for his breakfast. Those kind of things. What's coming up here? That's the blazing salads. Yes. Goes back a long way, that. I once mispronounced it as salads. And of course, the man known as Lord Ritchie, all the way out in Bratislava, picked up on it. And from that day on, it stuck. So that's the blazing salads. If you want a cup of coffee or two, perhaps your second cup, that there could be the little coffee shop especially for you. If you keep going down there, by the way, you're going to come to the Coral Bay Beach, and if you keep going a bit further, you're going to come to the Coralia Beach, which is probably the best beach in the whole of Paphos. Now, these inconsiderate people here have prevented me from doing a U-turn. Not right, is it? So we'll have to go a bit further in these back roads and turn around over here. This is a hotel that's closed down, by the way, Crown Resorts, and it's sad, isn't it, when you see a hotel that's closed and gone into bankruptcy. Look at it. Shall we drive in and have a quick look? Why not, eh? See? Excitement, exploring around Cyprus with Mr. Paul. And you never know, you might learn something new. So if you're looking to buy a hotel, well, this could be the hotel for you. This was open last year, I think. I'm sure it was. But this year, unfortunately, it's gone into that thing called bankruptcy. But hey, if you're looking for somewhere to park a car on the Coral Bay Strip and it's all packed up, now you know where to come. Here we go. Right, let's get back onto the road that connects the Coral Bay Strip, and let's do that drive, because James Henry is getting very, very excited indeed. David Potter, he's, well, pirouetting around his kitchen or his lounge, wherever he may be. Mr. Neil is checking he's not going to choke on anything, because you never know, we might find traffic lights, or we may go down a one-way street, especially for him. There we go. Second cup, let's come again. There we are. Coral Bay Strip is coming up next, and you're going to get to see lots of bars and restaurants and shops. And there's the Coral Bay Health Centre. Got a mobile phone you want some gadgeting for, or a new screen for. You've got the eye cave. There's lots of things on the Coral Bay Strip. You want a buggy or two? Well, there you are. There's one or two parked up for you. And what's over there? Japanese restaurant. Man walking along looking very happy with a white shirt. And he's thinking where to go because it's getting hot. Got a customer of mine sitting there drinking a cup of coffee with two of his friends. You've got a restaurant to rent if you want one of those. You've got Othello's restaurant coming up here, probably the best breakfast in the whole of Coral Bay. There is. Absolute start. Mr. Demetrius is waving at me. I've only got to come within 50 metres of the place and he starts waving and dancing. And it's the greatest breakfast in Coral Bay. It really, really, really is. So pop in and say Yasu Gumbaru to Mr. Demetrius and his mum Sue. And his mother's in the background, by the way. Michael's cooking your breakfast. So it's a family business and they're always, always very, very busy. Eye cave for your phone there. You've got the Rio Grande restaurant. You've got Dame Anne's favourite restaurant, Leia Mez, which I think means just friends. I'm sure she'll correct me if I'm wrong. If you want some money, pop into there. That's the Bank of Cyprus. Balaclava on your head, matchstick in your hand, and normally they'll chuck you 50,000 or so. I pop in once a week. Coral Bay roundabout, here we go. If you take a left, you go to Agus St. George. If you go to Paphos, it's 11 kilometres that away. I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you like what you see, hit the like, click subscribe. Perhaps come back for a little bit more of a madness. I think you understand I am quite mad. Yes, even Miss Heather is understanding it now. Steve's thinking, oh my God, I think we should cancel the subscription to that channel, Marika and me. Why not click through to our About page, where you will find a little Buy Me a Coffee icon, and perhaps you could consider to buy us a coffee or two. Pop some benzene in the tank. Perhaps buy us that second cup of coffee to keep us afloat. Or why not consider joining us, as a few people have done. Dame Anne, Stephen Heather, thanks very much. Stuart Frampton, thanks very much. There's a few people have done it now. They contribute €10 a month and they keep us afloat. Of course, slowly but surely, that will help us. And guess what? When there's too much money, we'll have a party, and you can all come down and dance the chuchuchka, and the drinks will be on, well, you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again very, very soon.